I started work on feral because I just could not take it any longer. I was banging my head against the wall. I couldn't stand those conversations which are confined to the 3 R's of recipes and renovations and resorts. I couldn't stand just running only to keep fit, pursuing only things I couldn't see, watching the seasons cycling past without ever really belonging to them. And it was driving me nuts, and I couldn't quite work out what it was until I realised that I was ecologically bored. That we all carry in us a package of genetic memories which are the result of our evolutionary history, when we evolved alongside elephants and lions and saber-toothed cats and giant aurochs. We evolved in very thrilling and very dangerous times, and we acquired a set of psychological weapons which allowed us to get through that, and our fight or flight responses, our ability to cope with great stress and great excitement, and those don't really have an outlet these days, or not outlets which aren't dangerous and damaging to society. And I found myself scratching at the walls of this life, looking for a way out into a wider space beyond. And I think I've found it, and it's called rewilding. Now, the rewilding that interests me is of two kinds. One is the literal physical rewilding of the natural world, the mass restoration of ecosystems. There are very large parts of less fertile lands now being abandoned by farmers as farming concentrates on the more fertile places. And that, I believe, gives us a great opportunity to do a mass restoration, to start pulling down the fences, blocking up the ditches, reintroducing some of the missing plants and animals, not trying to recreate a primordial wilderness, but to allow the ecosystem's dynamic interactions to resume, and then stand back, stop managing, abandon this whole notion of stewardship that we've got to keep managing it in order to look after nature. Nature's very good at looking after itself, and it can create on both land and sea some much more thrilling and engaging ecosystems than those with which we're now familiar today. And alongside that, I want to see, if we choose it, and I would certainly choose it, a rewilding of our own lives, a reintroduction into the ecosystem, not just of our missing plants and animals, but of people as well, if that's what we choose. And that comes about partly by having those more thrilling places, but partly also by having the knowledge and the excitement which allows us to re-engage with them in a different way. And to give you just one very small example, or a very big example perhaps, in both Europe and the Americas, our forest ecosystems were basically elephant dominated. Until a very short time ago, in ecological terms, in Europe, straight-tusked elephants were the dominant species in the forests, very, very large elephant species, like the Asian elephant, but bigger. And our trees still carry the adaptations required to withstand those animals. And doesn't that just open the world up and make it so much more interesting? That you realise that in every park, every avenue, every leafy street, you can see the shadows of the great beasts with which we evolved. Paleoecology, the study of past ecosystems, which is so crucial to understanding our own, feels like a portal to an enchanted kingdom. It opens up the mind. And that, to me, is a lot of what rewilding is about.